Hello and welcome to episode 5000 of In 20. That's an absolute lie. But if you do follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, thank you very much. We love all the support you're showing us. Do turn on the notification buttons if you're watching us live right now on YouTube. Danny, have you moved to a new location, a secure location, or are you still in the same house?
I'm still in the same house, but yeah, so I've moved to a COVID secure room. Not that all the other rooms weren't COVID secure. No. Obviously, with family being at home, I just thought I'd change the background up a little bit.
Okay, I miss all your England caps, which you normally sit in front of with pride.
I didn't want to show off. Do you know what I mean? So still very patriotic. Look, there's a little England, there's a little Union Jack in the corner still.
I played for Inter Milan, Barcelona, AC Milan on FIFA, but that's a different story altogether. But let's talk about Europe. You know, a couple of days ago, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came out and said that they were the underdogs in this competition, and you know, whether it was just mind games or he was just playing the part, you know, you watch Sevilla play, you watch Inter Milan play, and even Shakhtar Donetsk, and you're going like, you know what, bro? You are truly an underdog in this competition.
Yeah, I don't think they're not underdogs in what you would normally say underdogs, where, you know, you think it's like Leicester, you know, winning the Premier League, you know, 5,000 to 1 chance. Manchester United have very, very good players, and we've seen can beat anybody on their day. They still have 1 or 2 frailties. We've seen that, you know, even since the restart, when the good form that they've been in. But you have to say, Manchester United have an abundance of quality. They have world-class players in their squad. On their day, if they play well, they can beat anybody. And you're now looking at 2 games. You know, that's all it has to be. It doesn't have to be any more than that. And you don't even have to play well in those games. You know, you can be average, you can nick a goal, you can get a lucky goal, and you can still win the game. So I don't think it's quite right to say Manchester United are out and out underdogs.
Yeah, but that penalty was a bit questionable. A couple of episodes ago, you said that Anthony Martial for you is not exactly the man to lead United, but he's doing it now. He's scoring the goals. He won the penalty, but was it a penalty for you?
I thought it was very, very harsh. I thought it was very, very soft, and it's the age-old question, isn't it? If it's not given, do VAR look at that and go, that's a definite penalty? They probably don't, in honesty. Is there contact slightly? You know, he just about puts his arm on his shoulder, doesn't he? That's about it. The lightest of touches. Difficult in that situation to know how much contact there was. Did it put him off? But I think once VAR gets it, once the referee's made a decision, I think we've seen in Europe, it has to be a really bad error for it to be overturned. There was enough in it to say, well, I can sort of see why the referee has given it, and that doesn't often get overturned in that instance. I don't think it was a penalty, but I can see why VAR didn't overturn it. But, you know, Manchester United were they unlucky? Was it down to poor finishing? They created lots of chances. But then, of course, you know, there was also chances at the other end as well. You know, Copenhagen came very, very close late on a couple of times where fantastic skill, fantastic, you know, skills and individual trickery that got them into great positions, but equally they didn't have the final touch either.
But when you look at, like I mentioned earlier, Sevilla, my God, man, they're really good. Everyone talks about, you know, your Real Madrids, your Barcelona, now of late Atletico Madrid is amongst them. But I mean, Sevilla is such a good team, you know.
And that's what they are, Roshan. They're a team. You know, they have some very, very fine and quality individuals, but they all play the way they're supposed to. They all complement each other. They all back up each other's deficiencies. You know, they are incredibly successful in this competition. They know how to win it. They have the experience in doing that, and that goes a long, long way in cup competitions. But again, I think they're a little bit like Valencia used to be when I played sort of 10, 15 years ago. Yeah, one or two superstars, 1 or 2 very, very good players, but it's not like Barcelona, is it? It's not like Real Madrid, you know, absolutely littered with superstars, but they all pull together. They all have an understanding of what is needed to go out and win football matches, and they do it, especially in this competition, with regularity.
You know, something when I was watching the game with regards to Shakhtar Donetsk when they were in action, I was like, am I watching Brazil play or am I watching an Eastern European team? Because they're filled and they've had this rich history of Brazilians in their team. The way they were passing the ball, the flair they had. If you look past them, you're really asking for trouble, Danny.
Yeah, I think we'd all know why the Brazilians go to Shakhtar, don't we? And who can blame them? Given the chance, I'd be like that. Yep, I'm in. I'm off. Please.
Yeah, we can be Brazilians as well.
Well, exactly. If you want me to change nationality, then well, at this stage of my career, it's not a problem. I can do that. But no, but I think we've always seen that. The players. Fernandinho was there, wasn't he? Before William was there, I think, as well.
Mkhitaryan was there, but he's not Brazilian.
But they've always had fabulous players. So no real surprise. And of course, it's their not failures, but their lack of finals, their lack of going the distance in competitions has been to do with obviously all the issues they've had in and around the country, and not playing their own stadium for many, many times and the troubles in there. So no, I think, but again, they're a team that have some outstanding individuals. Anybody left in the competition now, Sevilla are probably the best team. Manchester United are very, very attacking and have some fabulous, attacking players. Inter Milan, you never write off an Italian team because they know how to win. And Shakhtar, you just said, some very, very good players within their squad as well. So I wouldn't like to pick one winner out of all this because it really could be toss of a coin, and any of these are quite capable of winning it.
Early on you did this, right? And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was seen doing this when he was on the pitch. And a lot of people link that to what he was, Manchester United chasing Jadon Sancho. It looks like he's going to stay. Can United do without him next season?
I think they can. I think Jadon Sancho is an outstanding player, absolutely superb. But when you look at the players that they have, they have Martial, they have Rashford. Daniel James needs to step up his game and drop into that. Mason Greenwood obviously coming into it as well. They have players in and around that. I've said all along, I think an out-and-out number 9 would be a better fit for Manchester United. Sancho is another wide player. You're going to have to leave out Greenwood. You're going to have to leave out Rashford, potentially, when that happens. And, of course, competition is always very, very good for squad depth. But I don't think Sancho would obviously improve them. But I don't think he's going to take them from third up to second or first in the league.
Oof. And with that, a lot of hate mail heading our way. Thank you very much, Mr. Mills. What happened to Daniel James?
But it's right, though, isn't it? Sancho's not going to come in and Sancho's not going to score 25 goals or do what, unless he does what Mo Salah did at Liverpool and suddenly score like 50 goals in a season. And because Manchester United finished, 30 points behind Liverpool? That's a lot of games to make up. That's 10 wins. It's just Jadon Sancho, one player coming in, suddenly mean Manchester United win 10 more games. I don't think he does because you've got Greenwood that's played very, very well. You've got Rashford, you've got Martial, you've got players in there. So yes, he would improve them, but not to the extent where suddenly they're challenging Liverpool or Manchester City.
Okay, Daniel James, when he first moved to United, everyone was talking about the boy that he was at live spark. That spark has gone out.
He was carrying the team for a little bit, wasn't he? Some of those early performances. It can happen with young players, especially when you get a big move. You have a big move and the adrenaline is flowing. It's all about, it's excitement. It's something new. Every single day is new. New teammates, new training ground, new hotels, new this, new that. And it's exciting. And then suddenly you have a couple of indifferent performances and reality kicks in and you suddenly, hang on a minute, I've got to keep up these standards week in, week out. And it's very, very difficult to do that. And a club like Manchester United have some of the highest standards and that'll be in training as well. When Rio Ferdinand left Leeds United and went to Manchester United, and then we'd meet up on England duty, it would be, look, you do not understand the intensity in training is 5 or 6 levels above what we're used to. And we trained well at Leeds. We trained very, very hard, very, very physical. But he said the quality. The moment you give a ball away, you get absolutely slaughtered for it. It's seen as a crime, to do that type of thing. And I think, maybe that's just what's happened with Daniel James, and he just needs to take stock, come back this season and have a really good go.
Manchester United is the only English team left in this competition. Wolves was there. Now their manager, I don't care what people say. I'm a big fan of his. I think there's a lot of fans out there in Europe, especially football clubs, would be looking at this guy and going like, you know what? Why not? Why not we buy this guy over and sort our clubs out?
Well, I think he's done incredibly well. Nuno has been sensational to come through the Championship and then finishing 7th. And then again, very, very similar, second season around when everybody thinks, second season is going to be the hardest, second season syndrome. Wolves have been playing for 13, 14 months. They started this competition last June, possibly. It's very, very difficult for them. So they've had a long, hard, arduous season, plus lockdown. It's not the biggest squad in the world that Nuno has to pick from. I think the football that they've played, the results that he's got have been absolutely sensational. And I think there's a project at Wolves, so I can see him staying. And obviously we know that the agent involved and the club looks like it's certainly got some money. But I would say that yes, there will definitely be big clubs, if not this season because of COVID, definitely next season, looking at Nuno and thinking, he could manage us.
When you say clubs, are you talking about any of the top 3 teams in their respective leagues would look at him and go like, he's good enough to manage our teams?
Oh, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. Let's just say that the Barcelona job came up, or Real Madrid job came up, or Bayern Munich job came up now. What sort of coaches are you looking at in this day and age? You want someone that can handle it, and he's shown that he can do that. Obviously, he's multilingual as well. That helps. We've seen he's a very, very good coach. He's dealt with lots of things. He's been dealing with top players and top agents and everything that goes around Wolves at the time. The brand of football is very, very good. He's improved players. I think there would be a lot of teams that look at him and go, you know what, this would be not a gamble. Obviously, nothing's guaranteed in football, and he might not be the big stellar name. But if you're looking for a young, up-and-coming, innovative coach, manager, then Nuno has to be on that list.
I can see him fitting easily into the likes of AC Milan or Napoli. And the way they chop and change managers in Italy is really ridiculous and funny. But when you look at the league, and I really don't want to be disrespectful, you look at the league and you go like, okay, yes, there's a lot of heritage there. There's a lot of history there. I mean, Cristiano is there, Zlatan is there. But you look at the league and you go like, it's not the most competitive, is it? You look, at Lukaku, he's a superstar over there, but he couldn't do it at Manchester United. And then you look at Juventus, who goes out yet again to another club that has barely spent close to what they've done. I mean, Ajax was the team that dumped them out last year, and this time it's Lyon.
Yeah, I think it's the Italian league isn't what it used to be. When I was growing up, when it was watching Serie A on a Saturday morning, on terrestrial TV, and that was the likes of Maldini and Baresi and players like that. Sensational. And that was when it was. The Italian system was very much based on defence. We know that it was very much win 1-0. Keep a clean sheet. Times have changed. Obviously, the 2 Milan clubs are not the power that they once were. Lazio have fallen by the wayside. Roma, in recent seasons, they've had a little bit of a go, but I think it will come round again. Napoli have done well this season. Juve obviously are up there and thereabouts, but it looks like they might have 1 or 2 money issues, possibly looking to offload Cristiano Ronaldo and his wages. Pirlo goes in now, goes from one day being under 23s coach to suddenly being the manager. But surely, if we just talked about it, Nuno would be a fantastic fit for someone like Juventus. Why wouldn't he be? To reinvent themselves and start playing that way. If Pirlo's good enough, Nuno has to be good enough, surely. Just because obviously Pirlo's got links with the club and there's all those sort of ties, doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be a fantastic manager or fantastic coach. But I think we've seen it go time and time again. Football is very, very cyclical, as we know, and a lot of it is money dependent. And the Italian league have starved of money, in the last sort of 10 years. And that's why they've lost a lot of their top players.
And some of those players have gone to France. A lot of the players have actually just gone to PSG because of the money they've been pumping into football and just buying everyone left, right, and center. They struggled. They did get the job done. They are into the last few stages of the Champions League. But what is it about PSG? You look at that team from back to front. It's superstars, Danny, but yet they struggle to cross that finish line.
Well, it's Real Madrid of old, isn't it? And you think until Carlo Ancelotti went in there and won the 10th title, won La Decima, it'd been a long, long time since the Galacticos had won the Champions League. And I think, and that's a little bit similar with Paris Saint-Germain. Just because you have some of the best players in every single position doesn't mean that you have the best team. We've seen that, time and time again. That a team is more valuable. That the sum of its parts is often greater than the sum of the individuals. And I think we see that with PSG. They have such immense quality. I think one of their problems is that they don't play competitive football. That's maybe a bit harsh. But competitive football week in, week out, they're going to win. They win the league. They win the league by Christmas, pretty much. That's done and dusted. And then it's very, very difficult for them to keep those high standards. Look at Neymar last night, getting the ball, running past people for fun. But then that clinical finishing, those first 2 or 3 chances in the first half, you don't expect Messi to miss them or all of them. You don't expect Neymar to miss them. You don't expect Harry Kane to miss all them. Because their edge is there week in, week out, and they are under pressure to score goals. Whereas if Neymar misses them in a league game, it's all right because they're going to get another chance in 5 minutes. That doesn't always happen in the Champions League.
All right. I know with this whole COVID situation, you've said it time and time out. You were one of the first few to say it as well. Money being spent here is always a question mark. But if there was no question mark and the money wasn't, was a problem, could Neymar go to the likes of maybe Manchester City, Chelsea, or Manchester United if the money was right? And could he survive in the league?
Oh, without a doubt. The best players always find a way. I've seen Neymar play for Brazil. I've seen him kicked off the pitch and bounce back from that. That's never going to be an issue. Of course, you'd have to adapt the team around him slightly. It'd be like when they said, David Silva, diminutive character, technical footballer. Could he come into the Premier League? Well, look how successful he's been. Could Messi play in the Premier League? Of course he could. Cristiano Ronaldo's done it. Gianfranco Zola, was sensational. So of course, top players will always find a way. Neymar would be very, very exciting. And of course, we are now talking about a Premier League where this is not 7-8 years ago. When Neymar was just burst onto the scene, where tackles were still quite spiteful, quite nasty. And the game was a bit more attritional. Players are much more protected in this day and age. So Neymar could fit into many of the top sides as long as his desire and his work rate is there. Yes, of course, he would go straight into, I would say, every single top 4 side.
But if you look at the situation right now, it's just screaming for Manchester United, the number 7 jersey, that star to come in who's got the capabilities of changing the game by himself. You said you saw it last night in the Champions League. It's just crying out, isn't it?
It is, but unfortunately, these players, are very, very expensive. And if Manchester United can't afford Sancho, how can you possibly afford a Neymar? It's not only the price tag of a transfer fee, it's then wages. These players then will demand a cut of shirt sales and everything else, all the commercial rights, everything else that goes around it.
I said money wasn't a problem. Money wasn't a problem. Come on, Danny.
No, but money is a problem because you've got financial fair play and all the rest of it. And I think that will be cracked down on now, especially after COVID. So no, could Neymar play in the Premier League? Without a shadow of a doubt. And I think he'll be hugely successful. Will it happen? No.
Okay, fair enough. I'll make it even simpler for you. The number 7 jersey at Manchester United with the name Neymar on the back. Would it look good? Would it work out if it ever happened?
I think it's would it work out? It's difficult to say. You still need a team. Neymar. You still need 2 or 3 other players in and around him. And like we just said, he's had sensational players with him at PSG, but he hasn't managed to win the Champions League yet. They may well do it this season. So you need a team. You can't. There is no team on the planet that wins a game or wins a season, wins a championship or a Champions League because of one player. It has to be everybody in it together.
Diego Maradona, Argentina.
Yeah, but they still had fabulous players in and around him. So Cristiano Ronaldo, even at Portugal, still had superb players when they won the Euros. In fact, he didn't even play, did he? In the final, he came off injured. So it just goes to show it's not one individual can often make a difference in a game, but across the course of a season, you need a fabulous team.
I love you, Danny. Thank you so much for saying no in a very long-winded way. You could have just said yes and made me happy. It's been an absolute pleasure, Mr. Mills. I shall talk to you very soon. Have a safe situation at home, as always.
Brother, thanks.
All right. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And do hit the subscription button on our YouTube channel. Till the next time, take care.